Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. When my son was 3, he used to cry, and I never used to understand why he always cry the minute he sees me picking up the car keys, just ready to go to work. And every day I used to go through the same procedure of calming him down for a good 5 minutes. Sometimes I would promise him to bring him some goodies, and I make sure I did that. One day I came back from work early than normal. As I was standing in the door getting my keys, just about to open the door, I heard him cry. Now this cry, it was not just an ordinary cry. He was just screaming. I overheard his nanny saying to him, "I'm not your mother." It was like he was just being beaten up and I just couldn't understand. I opened the door and I pretended like nothing happened. I knew that this must have been happening for a very long time. Of course, I did what a mother could do. I fired her. I had to protect my son by letting her go. I didn't want her to teach my son that the only way he could be disciplined is by him being beaten. So I had to fire her, and the next person I got was a loving person, and she loved kids as well. So sometimes when you are interviewing a nanny, just make sure they also love kids. Because if they don't like kids, they won't know how to bring your kids up. The only way they know is by beating up the child or doing something even drastic. As a parent, use your instinct to protect your children from the harsh realities of this world. When a child is speaking to you, don't shut them down. Find out. Get some information and find out why they're behaving the way they're behaving. As a mother, you will know your baby's needs. Even when they grow up, use your instincts. You don't want to be surprised when something happens and your family members begin to ask, "Where were you? Didn't you see the signs?" Pay attention to each and every sign, even when they're teenagers as well. They go through emotions. Peer pressure is one of them. You need to be attentive. So you need to be able as a parent to understand your child. That way you'll be able to tell when something is wrong with your child. Sometimes you also have to pay attention when it comes to relationships as well. In most times there's a story. Behind that door, there's a story. Every story starts with a sign, so you need to pay attention to those signs. When your family members are having a conversation and suddenly you walk in and they keep quiet, there's a story there. The reason why they're quiet is because maybe there's a story that they don't want you to hear. You know about it and you're just in denial. You don't want to listen to them when they're trying to warn you about something or warn you about someone. There's so many words that can be spoken. Even when people are silent, they can communicate with each other without even saying anything. Silence at times can also be a way of communication. When you see your friend or you see your relative with bruises all over and they're silent, don't let them fool you to tell you that they slipped and fell. Yet you can see that their eye is injured. How do you fall and only your eye gets injured? Sometimes the stories they make, it makes no sense. This is when you have to pay attention to the signs. Don't just leave it. Speak to them. Find a way of communicating with them. Maybe they'll be open enough to tell you exactly what is going on. When a partner does something to you and you have no peace and you feel like you need to protect him, maybe because you were also brought up from a family where you don't expose family secrets and you feel like you need to keep quiet. You need to make the decision that are you going to expose him by speaking to somebody, or you're just going to keep quiet and suffer the abuse. You stay in this marriage just because you want to protect it and you're hoping that this man will change. He will never change. An abuser, if they cannot get help, they never change. In short, you have to be on the lookout and be alert on what's happening around you. If this person that you are married to suddenly has got some certain behavior that you don't understand, discuss about them and see how you can help him. Maybe he's behaving like this because something triggered it. Maybe he was brought up even from a family where he saw abuse happening and suddenly it triggers it and he takes it out on you. And you've never seen him behaving like that. People change. If you're not going to be attentive to the signs, you're going to miss out. That includes your children as well and people around you. Don't let fear become a foundation, otherwise it becomes a stronghold. If you have fear that you might lose your spouse, just because you spoke. You have to make up that decision. When you speak, it might help him. When you keep quiet, it won't help you at the end of the day. As parents, you need to pay attention to what the children are saying to us as well. That's why I felt I needed to let her go. Because if I had to let her stay, my son was going to learn that the only way you can discipline somebody is by smacking them. This nanny, without her realizing it, she's bringing up a child that is going to learn from her. Most of the time, as parents, while at work, throughout the day, your child stays with somebody who's teaching them some things that you may not even know about. It's very important as a mother to be vigilant all the time. In some cases, you find that boy children, as they grow older, they learn their first kiss from their nannies. I'm not trying to say all nannies are like this, but what I'm saying is still pay attention. You might have a peaceful home, but if 80% of the time your children are being taken care of by somebody else, they're not learning from you. 80% of what they're learning is from out there. Even if your home is as peaceful as ever, but what are they learning from out there? What are they learning from their teachers? What are they learning from their friends? What are they learning from the people that we trust most to take care of our children? In Proverbs 22 verse 6 reads, teach a child the way they should go, so when they grow up, they won't turn from it. So this verse clearly says, whatever you teach a child, they're going to learn from it. Even abuses can come from families as well. If they are surrounded from abusive families or abusive parents, they can learn that from them. Don't contribute in bringing up abusers. You shouldn't be the one contributing and bringing up an abuser. Next thing you see your son beating up his wife and you start asking him, where did you learn it from? And you forget that when that child was young, they were seeing that from you and your husband. Suddenly, because now you're all grown up and you're a Christian and you think that your child wasn't seeing that, because that was stuck in their mind. If your children are being brought up in an abusive environment, deal with that. When you start seeing traces, deal with that immediately. And later in the long run, they will be abusive as well. Just like when you're an adult or maybe are married to this person, when you start seeing traces of him abusing you, deal with that immediately. Correct them just in case they didn't realize that that was abuse. Because abuse doesn't just only come in physical abuse. Even emotional abuse can be abuse. Don't allow yourself to stay in a relationship that is abusive. If that person is abusing you and you're not even married to them, this person won't change. Marriage won't change them. This person will continue to abuse you because that's the only thing that they know. And you'd feel like this person will change when they're married. No, they won't. You accepted it when you are dating. So you need to take a step back and think to yourself, what do you really want? Do you want to stay in this abusive relationship, hoping they will change? Or you want to leave? Do you see yourself with this person? Is your life so worthless that you can stay with an abusive man? If you're an adult, nobody can make that decision for you. Only you can make that decision. As an adult, you need to make that decision for that child. You wouldn't want to marry somebody where you see traces of abuse. If you really want to get married to him, let him go for counseling before you even marry him. Let him find out the source where this abuse is coming from and let him heal. Give him time to heal. Don't rush into marriage just because you love that person. Because behind every door, there's a story. So you need to pay attention to each and every sign. Thank you for watching. If this is content that you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe and see you in the next video. God bless you.